So here's a big question. Is America's clean energy boom actually built to last, or is it just a house of cards? Well, we're going to try and find the answer by digging into the financial report of one single company, First Solar. And their story, it reveals a massive, high-stakes bet on the future of American manufacturing, a bet that's being fueled almost entirely by government policy.
All right, let's dive right in. First Solar? They're not just some run-of-the-mill solar company. As the largest manufacturer in the entire Western Hemisphere, they are a huge piece of the puzzle, a real cornerstone in the plan to bring clean energy manufacturing back home to the U.S.
And boy, are they riding a massive wave. Solar power it's exploding right now. And all of this is happening as the U.S. government is making this huge strategic push to build up a domestic clean energy industry. You got to remember, that policy support, it's the critical backdrop to this entire story.
Okay, so with all that momentum, how is First Solar really doing? We're going to skip the fancy press releases, their latest SEC filing. That's where you find the real story. It gives us the unvarnished truth straight from the source.
And wow, the first number that just leaps off the page is this one, almost 80%. Get this, that's how much their sales shot up compared to the same quarter last year. That's not just growth, that's an absolute explosion in demand.
So what does an 80% jump look like in real money? It looks like this. Nearly $1.6 billion in sales. And that's in just 3 months. Yeah, just let that number sink in for a second.
But, a ton of sales is one thing. Are they actually making money? The answer is, oh yeah, a resounding yes. They managed to turn that massive revenue into $456 million of pure profit, again, just for the quarter.
So here's the raw data, all laid out. You can see it clear as day, that incredible year-over-year jump across the board. Net sales, gross profit, net income, it's all soaring. But if you look a little closer, you gotta ask, what's the secret ingredient here? What's really driving this kind of explosive growth? Because spoiler alert, it's not just about selling more panels.
And that brings us to the magic ingredient. The not-so-secret secret, really. It comes down to a really powerful piece of legislation, the Inflation Reduction Act, or as you've probably heard it called, the IRA. This right here is the massive government tailwind propelling the company forward.
It all boils down to a specific part of that law called Section 45X. The easiest way to think about it is like a huge cashback reward from the government. For every solar panel First Solar makes in the U.S. and sells, they get a tax credit. It's basically a direct injection of cash right into their business.
And just look at the scale of this support. We're not talking about a little bit of help here. In just 9 months, these credits chopped over $1/3 billion off their production costs. This is not a gentle nudge from the government. This is a massive financial engine. But check this out. This is where it gets really clever. First Solar isn't just sitting on these credits waiting to do their taxes. Nope, they're actually selling them to other companies for cold, hard cash right now. It's a genius move, really. It's like turning a government IOU directly into a stack of cash to build more factories. So, the picture looks incredibly sunny, right? But if you dig a little deeper into that very same report, you start to see some storm clouds gathering. The sky is definitely not as clear as it first seems. First, there's a problem coming from inside the house. This quote, and we pulled it directly from their filing, it points to a costly manufacturing defect. It's in one of their flagship products, the Series 7 module, and it could cause them to fail way too early. And we're not talking about a small glitch here. This is a potential $90 million problem. That's a hit that hurts both their bottom line and, maybe more importantly, their reputation for quality. And the challenges don't just stop at their factory doors. Outside, they're navigating what's basically a minefield. You've got new import tariffs, you've got these high-stakes patent lawsuits, and then you have the biggest threat of all, political risk. And this slide captures that conflict perfectly. On one side, you've got the Inflation Reduction Act. That's the tailwind pushing them forward. But on the other, a new administration is creating a powerful headwind, with policies that seem designed to roll back those very same clean energy incentives. So what does this all mean when you put it together? Let's zoom back out for a second and look at the wider significance of this story, because it's about a lot more than just one company. And hey, you don't have to take my word for it. First Solar spells it out right in their own report. Their entire business model is tethered to government subsidies. That makes them the canary in the coal mine for America's entire clean energy experiment. Ultimately, this is way bigger than one company's balance sheet. It's a high-stakes test case for a really critical question. Can an industry that was built on government support survive when that support gets pulled away?
And that leaves us with the central, multi-billion-dollar question. It's a question not just for investors, but for anyone watching the future of American manufacturing, energy independence, and climate policy. Is this boom built on a solid foundation, or is it a house of cards just vulnerable to the next political wind?